So I'm on vacation. So I thought, until my wife found something for me to do.
Of course.
So, so I'm painting the whole apartment this year.
Then you can do here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so I was spending time with Jesse, and we were we were talking about different things about life, and we were remembering my father and her mother that passed away a few years ago, and talking about life and death, the Torah, and trying to understand what God wants from us, and you suddenly realize at what point Western civilization has influenced us in our thinking, and when you trace that mentality, it goes all the way back to Greece. And there's a famous philosopher called Plato, and Plato, I won't go into the details, but for you to understand a little bit of Plato and how he influenced Western civilization, is that he divided the understanding of reality in two parts. So there's the material world, right, what we have here, and there's the spiritual world. And for Plato, whatever is here is an illusion, has no value, and it's not important, and it's no good. And what really is important is the spiritual realm, okay? And so I'm simplifying, right, his thinking. But this idea was taken years later by the Gentile group that decided to leave their Jewish heritage, okay? So when these Gentiles decided to leave their Jewish heritage, they created what we called Christianity, okay? We're talking about end of the first and beginning of the second century and on. So Christianity started about that period. Now, this group of Gentiles, because they had divorced themselves from Torah, from their Jewish heritage, they had to find something in order for them to explain their beliefs, explain what they understand, what they understood about reality, about life. And so what they decided is that instead of staying within the matrix of Jewish tradition, Torah, they put that aside and they adopted Greek philosophy. Okay? What that did is that when you go to the medieval period, you will notice that there's a little group that came out. We call them the monks. You heard about them? Yes. This group came out around the medieval period, teaching that what was really, really important was not life. Marriage, children, work, all of these elements of life are worthless. What is really important is the spiritual realm. So, starting from Plato, tracing your way back all the way to the beginning of the church, to Western civilization as we know it now, had adopted that mentality and created this idea that what is really important is not the here and now, but is what is after this reality, what is in the spiritual realm. And this philosophy or mentality has affected all of us because we were brought up in this Western civilization. Now, if you compare the Torah is the opposite, completely the opposite of Greek mentality. The Torah is holistic. And when you take the time to read the Torah, you will notice that the Torah will emphasize life, here and now. Okay? In this week's parasha, we read about the red heifer and how this cow, red cow, which symbolized life, that's why it was red, pointed us to a reality. And what was that reality that this red heifer wanted us to see? Is that we as human beings are mortals. This is the first aspect that the Torah wants to teach us. We are mortals. But not because we are mortals that we are not important. We are mortals, but we have been imbued with the Spirit of God. The other aspect that we learn in this week's parasha is that you will see that Moshe, the great leader, fails God. So the other aspect of our reality is that we are human beings. Not only we are mortal, but we fail as human beings. But even though we fail, we have the capability of making a difference. Okay? So I'm thinking about all of these elements and trying to answer one question that my wife asked me. She said yesterday, because we were talking, she said, why is it that the Torah does not speak of the afterlife? You show me any passage in the Torah where it specifically, hear what I'm saying, specifically speaks of the afterlife, it's not there. It's not there. And she told me, yes, but Moses said, erase me from the book of life. Isn't that an evidence that Moses was pointing to an afterlife? I said, not necessarily. Because some rabbis will understood that text, meaning that what Moses was saying is that, you know what? Erase me from the book of life. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this nation. I don't want to be part of this whole project. Erase me from all of this. This is one perspective. So we cannot say that this text is talking about the afterlife. Do you get me? Okay. So, the Torah, if we are honest with ourselves and we read the Torah as it is written, you will notice that the text wants us to understand that the emphasis is about our life on this planet, because He created us to be on this planet. But because we have adopted the Greek mentality and we have emphasized that what is important is the afterlife, we don't care about this planet. We don't care about this life. One of the rabbis once said, I was in Chabad, and it always stuck to me. Because at that time, I couldn't understand what he was saying. But he said something very profound to me. We were in a study, and they were discussing that one of the members of the synagogue bought a car. He bought a brand new car. And the rabbi was explaining to him that buying a car was a spiritual thing. Buying a car is spiritual. And I said, what? What do you mean it's spiritual? What do you mean it's... Meaning that what we do on this earth, on this planet, has value. It means something, even if it's just buying a car. In fact, the rabbis emphasize that everything is so important, even when you go to the bathroom. Did you know that? So, all of this, the Torah values. And we, as followers of this great Creator, we should value what He has given us. And so, in valuing what He has given us, we can make a difference with our actions, with our belongings. And slowly, we will step away from the Greek mentality, believing that what is really important is the afterlife. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying there is an afterlife. That's not what I'm saying. I have certain beliefs regarding the resurrection, regarding what is going to happen after death. But I am very careful in saying what I believe in because the Torah does not say it specifically. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I have my personal beliefs, and I know that after death, there can only be life because God is life. What is there else after death? God, right? But how is all of that going to come about? The details of all of this, I don't know. I can speculate. And many have speculated. Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And the speculations in Judaism, you could read it in Kabbalah. The problem is that we take the speculation, the rabbinical speculations in Kabbalah, the Christian speculations in their theology, and the speculation in Islam, and claim that that is what's going to happen after death, making those speculations a reality. And that's the mistake we make. They're only speculations. What we can be sure of is that God expects from us to make a difference here and now, and not to worry about what's going to happen after. God is going to deal with that. He's going to deal with us when that time comes. Right now, we as a community have to make sure that we understand this concept that we can make a difference. Why? Just this week, I decided to take a movie. I wanted to see that movie. And right away, the first thing they teach me, one of the principal characters of the movie is a lesbian. And they make the emphasis, lesbian, 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 I'm a lesbian, I'm a lesbian. They're bombarding us. They're trying to intimidate us. Not only us, but our kids. And if we don't make the difference that we as a community, as a people, we are here to make a difference and tell people it doesn't have to be that way. Because the Torah tells us that it could be this way. If we adopt the Greek mentality, we are going to lose the teachings of the Torah. If we adopt the Greek mentality and we teach that to our children, they are the first ones we're going to lose. My son was watching TV the other day, and I came in and I was looking, and they're promoting amongst kids two things. They're over-sexualizing them, especially the little girls. And the boys, they are feminizing them. They're making our boys girls. Our boys today, I'm scared, I'm afraid. That's being a boy. A boy is not allowed to have a gun and play cowboys and police and robbers. No, that's bad. What is normal now? A boy has to be delicate, like a little girl. What? So the world is changing. Everything is changing. The value system is changing. And we as a community are called to make a difference. Shabbat Shalom.